Welcome to Editor's Desk. Today we're going to be diving into Kemi Badenoch's tumultuous leadership of the Conservative Party so far. Now, Kemi faces two big twin evils, right? One is you've got Reform and Nigel Farage on one side, who are closing in, getting more and more popular, beating the Conservative Party in the opinion polls. And two is you've got a resurgent Keir Starmer, who after his performance with Trump, everyone thinks he's now the grand statesman and he's got his aura back. And she's sort of trapped in this no man's land of not really getting any attention, only being invited to things because she's the leader of the Conservative Party, but really doing nothing to generate news or to sort of be sought after for her perspective. She often says, I agree with the Labour Party and I'm not Nigel Farage, but that's not enough of a salient message. Now, it's important to note a few things. One is that Badenoch, when she won the leadership, she only won by a narrow margin, right? So this shows us that there are deep divisions, right, in the party about her leadership. In fact, recent polls suggest that 35% of Conservatives are confident in her leadership. Now, this is pretty deep, because if you think about it, when you're an opposition leader, your job is to say anything, because it doesn't matter, right? You can be on the right side of every argument, you can say whatever, because you're not actually in power. Governing is the difficult thing. But somehow, even though she's in opposition, she still fails to get headlines. She fails to really inspire and motivate even her own base, talk less of the people she would have to win over in order to win the next general election. And I don't know, I really don't know what's going on with Kemi, because on one side, you look at Nigel Farage, and he's clearly having a good time. He's always smiling, always laughing. He's good at taking really complex thoughts and summing it down into three words: country, politics, and patriotism. And you kind of go, yeah, that's it. But Kemi looks like she's having a horrible time. I was just watching her on Laura Kunzberg on Sunday or Saturday, and she just looks miserable. She's tired all the time. She looks like the weight of the leadership is on her. And I think that there's a big part of this that it's just that she doesn't seem to be enjoying herself, and her base don't seem too enthralled by how she's doing. Now, the threats are very clear. Kemi is very quick to bat off Nigel Farage and Reform Party. She says there's significant differences, differences that can't be overcome. But of course, they are gaining traction. And 20% of Conservatives, according to a recent poll, are actually considering switching to Reform. Now, this is pretty kind of sad, because already Reform is outpacing the Conservative Party in terms of new members and new people signing up to their membership. If this further switch happens, I don't see a world in which there isn't a merger that essentially gets rid of Kemi Badenoch. Hence why we don't think she might last to the end of the year. But I guess the other problem with it, and I promise I will get to some good things, but the other problem with her leadership, of course, is that there seems to be a lot of internal dissent even within the party. So obviously, when you suffer this colossal defeat, you have to look in the mirror and say, what are we getting wrong? Like, our message is not landing with the British people. We're going to do something differently. She sought to do that, right? She's on this kind of campaign to find out what's going on in the party and try to kind of instigate some change, etc. But according to a YouGov poll again, her approval rating is at 30%. Right there. So of course people are asking that question: Is she the right person to lead us through turbulent times? Is she the right person to really mount a challenge on, say, Farage and even Keir Starmer? Is she the right person? Because people in her own party, I'm talking about MPs here, don't seem to agree with her. The Financial Times reported that some MPs think she's got the right ideas, but she lacks this clear sense of execution. Now, is Nigel Farage the answer? I don't think so. I also think something that's not spoken about often in the media is how Nigel Farage really doesn't have any policy prescriptions. He's a media guy at best. And so he's had all these years to come up with ideas, and it seems as though he doesn't have any. I don't know what he stands for. His only contribution really to public life is Brexit, which is, whatever you think, whatever side you sit on, has categorically made the UK poorer. So you kind of go, if this is your political legacy, Where is all this support coming from? What's going on? Is it that people have forgotten? You know, that's a question I think you have to ask as well. Now, as we look ahead, she has really deep, what I would call wicked problems. Can she turn things around? Maybe, right? But these pressures from reform aren't going anywhere, and the internal dissent equally isn't going anywhere. So she really has to get a grip on things, and quickly. Now that we're marred in this sort of security issue with Ukraine, with Trump, I don't really see how she kind of creates a lane or a voice for herself. And I think what will ultimately happen is she will fade into irrelevance. But we'll keep watching. And of course, I hope you'll tell me what you think as well. I mean, are you happy with Kemi Badenoch's leadership? Do you think it's going well? What can she do to improve? Let me know in the comment section. And as ever, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it with somebody, and we will see you in the next video.